Oh, Maple Ridge, oh, Maple Ridge, how beautiful your flowers. Oh, Maple Ridge, oh, Maple Ridge. Oh, Maple Ridge. You guys, best Phil Hartman movie, in my opinion, House Guest. One of the greatest movies of all time. Seductive. Seductive. Sounds like you're talking about a woman. You describing that wine sounds like you're talking about a woman. Sinbad and Phil Hartman. Masterpiece. Oh, good morning. Hello, collective. OMG. OMG. What a time to be alive. I am so grateful. I am so happy to be here with you. Hello. My name is Patience. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I already said that. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I feel so silly right now. Oh, thank you. I feel so silly right now. Must be Phil. Well, listen. Thank you so much. We love you so much. Thank you for all the love and support. We are your favorite spirit medium, hosts of Spirit News on all major platforms. You can find any of our socials through the link tree in the homepage. Or what should we call it? I don't know. I'm having some brain farts right now. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, listen. If you'd like to be a part of our community, we'd absolutely love to have you. We're answering the call for crossover people who apparently don't have the ability to cross over yet. Don't know why. Just going with the flow, answering the call. Okay. It seems to be that we're observing that by answering the call and being the voice of crossover loved ones who can't move on, it seems to help them in some way, shape, or form. And I'm here for it. Any way I can help. Mental fog, go away. Yeah, it's weird, right? But it didn't start until I didn't feel foggy until I hit the live button. So I don't know, man. We're learning about energy in real time with you guys. We try to post for you every single weekend, every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. Spirit gives us, or Spirit contacts us to be read. We never know who it's going to be or what it's going to be about, but we try to be receptive and learn how energy works and how to receive the messages and keep ourselves at a bandwidth that is receptive. And we document it and we put it on our socials for you to, not for you to do it like us, but to show you that it's being done, that you're not alone, there is an awakening, and it's time, okay? Do stuck spirits get lonely? Like, can they be reaching out, not to cross over, but to have some company? I will say that the crossover loved ones that can't go home, yes, they get lonely because they're like in between worlds. They're stuck in the physical and in the non-physical, and so they often are stuck because of some emotional hangups that they had when they were human, or like regrets or something unresolved. And so those spirits do get lonely, the ones that are stuck, because they're still kind of half in, half out. And so they do exhibit or have like imprinted on them a lot of human attachment, and loneliness is a human attachment. But those who go home, no, that when they cross over and go home and go back to source, no, they're not. They don't experience any negative human emotion. They're just go back to pure positive energy. 2 in the chat, 5. So thank you for the questions. Random alphabet. Okay, so Phil Hartman. You know what? I just want to say, and I say this before any celebrity reads, is that we don't, and I kind of had this come up over yesterday. There's an old friend or acquaintance, and he said they were interested in doing something that I think is actually would be beneficial. But it brought up questions to ask people before they pass to like dispel the death process. And I called it a death doula. Essentially what they're doing is like, there's like birthing doulas, and well, there should be death doulas for people who are about to cross over that want to resolve things or want to leave some kind of message behind of things that were left unsaid. I think that's such a great idea, but it brought up, unfortunately, a lot of people pass without resolving unresolved conflict that they may have, encountered or picked up in their lifetime. And unfortunately, your unresolved emotional hangups are thank you, Spirit, are the things that directly impact your blessings and directly impact your ability to let go and to move forward, move home. And what we're finding with these readings is that a lot of people in the entertainment industry are associated with traumatic events in their leaving of this 3D dimensional plane. Keeps them stuck. And so spirits, like there's a lot of spirits that are stuck that, we aren't a society that honors speaking to your ancestors and stuff. And so if they have no way to voice their hangups or the things that they weren't ever able to articulate or get off their chest or resolve, it directly affects your ability to move on, to move forward. So we're happy to do this. And what we wanted to say about it is that we never know what a soul has encountered. We never know the truth about who they were and what they were actually into. And so sometimes these readings do bring up, things that we wouldn't have known about a person, and sometimes it's not always good, and sometimes it is good or it's better than we thought. It's we just never know. But I don't think it's not about focusing on the bad. It's about transmuting it for these crossed over people. It's about, and for us, we get to learn their lesson, and that's ultimately how it's supposed to work. God designed this place so we could still have our spiritual connection and an earthly connection, so we could have both. But because we don't honor the spiritual aspect of our innate nature of what we are without our human vessel, we don't get to help the souls that cross over by hearing their stories. And once they cross over, they're not so much worried about embarrassment anymore because they don't, they're ready to move on, and they're like, we just want to get this over with, So I just want to say that I love Phil Hartman, and I know that he's classified as a sweetheart, and everybody loved him 3-3. But I just want to say ahead of time that, sometimes we might pull some shadow aspects and everybody has shadow aspects. Everybody. Okay. Good morning. The greatest treasure a human being can have is the salvation of their soul. And to be saved, one simply needs to surrender their life to Yeshua and strive to be faithful to him. Yes, absolutely. Looking good, woman. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Thanks, Starboy. Okay, so something funny. Phil, please, let's do this. Phil Hartman, thank you for being here with Archangel Michael. I invite you into my energy field so we can get your perspective of what you went through. Tell us your story. So, something funny, another numerical anomaly. So, Phil Hartman was born September 24th, 1948. If you add all those up, it's a 10. And then he passed May 28th, 1998. And if you add all those up, it's 6. And then 10 plus 6 is 16, which is divisible by 8. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eights in all of that. So something with 8. Okay, 888. Okay, let's look up what 888 is.
Am I alive?
You're not, honey. I'm sorry. You're not alive. What is the symbology of 888? Supreme abundance, financial prosperity, and karmic rewards for hard work. Oh, Yeshua. In Greek gematria, the name Yeshua
My name is Mary.
equals 888. Equals 888. Wow. Symbolizing new beginnings, resurrection, and the triumph of life over evil.
Please move back.
Well, I love that. I love that very much. Okay. And then I got a song. It's called Twin. It's by Uri. And it says, I can never be the same. I don't know how to behave. You look at me like you know that I'll never let you go. I can never be the same. Won't even recall my name until you turn your head. Yeah, turn your head. And I keep saying to myself, don't think twice. Tell me, pretty, what you did before me. I want to hear your stories all night long. Might feel wrong, but this turns me on. Just tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you think about me? It kind of feels like...
How are you?
Thank you. It kind of feels like swingers, honestly. It kind of feels kind of swingy, you know, but like... Kind of like when a couple decides to swing, but one of the people...
I do not understand.
But one of the people says they agree to it, but they're just very jealous. It kind of feels like that. Free your mind. I can never be the same. I don't know how to behave. Malicious. You look at me like you know that I'll never let you go. I can never be the same. Won't even recall my name until you turn your head. What do you think about me? Tell me the things you like. Like somebody insecure because they had a threesome and now, you know, one of the people can't get out of their mind, you know, their person being with someone else. Well, tell me what you think about me. Tell me, did you like it with them? Was it good with them? What, you know, just like constantly trying, you know, rehash, scar. It's like somebody who shouldn't have been doing threesomes did a threesome kind of thing. Okay? And it does say twin. So this could have been like a twin flame kind of ordeal. But what we do know about twin flames now, after, you know, more of us have done the research, the spiritual research, is that anyone can be your twin. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Your twin flame will be the most tumultuous relationship you could have, or one of them, because you both made an agreement to have a certain experience together, that ultimately, if you overcome that experience, can propel you into a great spiritual enlightenment together. And then if a lot of the times it doesn't work out because it's just so it's so tumultuous. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible. And the ultimate goal is for those twins to be the ultimate reflection of the ultimate lesson, to bring in harmony and some kind of resonance. Okay, so it's meant to be like a great lesson. Okay, so the song is called Twin. Okay, so let's see. Phil, the noise was him. Phil, tell me about yourself. Let's get to know him a little. Let's do an imagine if. Actually, you know what? I was kind of feeling these funny tiles over here. I have this bag of tiles. Let me see. Phil, please tell me. I freaking love House Guests. If you guys haven't seen that movie, you really need to see it, because Phil Hartman and Sinbad are a dynamic duo. Really creepy. Creepy. What's creepy? And he said malicious. I do not understand. Please move back. Wavy. Creepy and wavy. Okay. American. Oh yeah. Do you guys not know about Phil Hartman? I'm so sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So Phil Hartman was a Canadian-American actor. He was a comedian, screenwriter, and a graphic designer, which I did not know that. He was born to...
She took my life.
She took my life. Yes, I know. She took my life. Oh, my eyes are getting blurry.
Balance.
I don't know why my eyes get blurry sometimes. My eyes are getting blurry. Get out. Someone in this energy's got bad vision. Please separate other people's energy from mine. Thank you. Ooh. Somebody here's got bad vision in my left eye. Okay. So unfortunately he passed in Encino, California at 49 years old. He was big on SNL. He was on talk radio with Joe Rogan. And he had 2 kids. He was married 3 times. And his last wife was Bryn. And unfortunately, she took his life and her own. And I just want to know what happened. You know, why, what... He was shot to death. It was a murder-suicide. Friendship. He just said friendship. So apparently, you know, his wife, his latest wife, who he had children with, wanted to also be in Hollywood and stuff. There may have been a little bit of jealousy. Hello from Australia. Put a spoon on your forehead. Gemini has forts. I don't insult. Look at me. Okay, so that's what happened with Phil Hartman. Okay, if you want to do a deep dive, there's lots of deep dives. You can go hear his story, but I want to talk to him without having too much information. So I have creepy, wavy American. Creepy, wavy American. Someone with a high sex drive. Someone who may have been getting stinky. Oh my gosh. Someone who may have been using divination, as I have American over spirituality and psychic ability. A crusty job, under restriction and abundance. Those are 2 different things. A crusty, wavy job, a wavy, crusty job. Moving. Under American. Destruction. Stretchy. Shell hairspray, smug, itchy. What the heck? Creepy, stinky, crusty, smug, itchy. What the heck? Somebody's crusty here.
Hit.
Hit. A hit. Mm. Extra, queen, hard, Hawaii. Interesting. So there's some crusty energy here. He may have wanted to move away from...
We're here to help.
He may have wanted to move away from an American that was had a high sex drive, that may have been kind of creepy, that may have made things hard to move forward, or it also says smug, itchy, and job. So someone at his job may have been kind of creepy, an American. Okay. We're talking to Phil Hartman. I'm asking him his perspective of what happened to him. I'm going to do one more so I have an even amount. Electric. Over the pineal gland. Something was psychic.
Someone's watching.
Someone's watching. Someone might have been watching him. Someone's smug and crusty and creepy. I have wavy and electric. It kind of gives me... And it's over spiritual and psychic abilities. So that's weird. Someone who has a high sex drive, who's aggressive. Huh.
Elsewhere.
Okay. Well, we'll do Imagine Ifs.
I'm still around.
He said he can't move on, so I'm happy to help him move on by speaking a story. Let's see. Imagine if Phil Hartman were a singer, what would he be? I rolled a 5. Alice Cooper. Really? Alice Cooper. You know, that's weird because... Alice Cooper. That's so funny. There was
Did you hear me?
a time in my life when I was younger, in high school, where there was this friend that lived across the street, and he went to this church. And this church had Alice Cooper come to the church, and he got to take a picture with him and stuff. And he had like his makeup on. But what I thought was weird is that I was like, isn't Alice Cooper, doesn't he like death metal or something? Like almost like Ozzy Osbourne. Alice Cooper. He's 78 right now. He's still alive. Vincent Furnier. He's still performing. Oh my gosh, good for him. Electric chairs and guillotines. Yeah, an American singer, songwriter, and actor known for his raspy voice and theatrical shock rock shows that feature props and illusions like electric chairs and guillotines. Some call him the godfather of shock rock, and credit him with helping shape heavy metal sound and look. Cooper's career spans over 5 decades, and he continues to release successful albums and tour.
West.
Hollywood Vampires. Music group. He belongs to the music group Hollywood Vampires. Mm-hmm. Wow. Stop it. That's wild. Creepy, stinky, stretchy, wavy, crusty, smug job. Oh my gosh. I don't know if he's saying he was part of it or he's saying someone who's a vampire in Hollywood an American has something to do with his death. Okay. All right. Tell me more. 4. Tell me more. 1. So I'll do a 1 after that. Or it's one person. I'll leave that out. 1. Imagine if, or I'm sorry, 4. Imagine if Phil Hartman were a musician. Which would he be? Jimi Hendrix.
Memories here.
That's so funny because I have singer and musician. What the hell? Let me see. What singers or musicians are connected to Phil Hart? You have to say it so fast. What musicians are connected to Phil Hartman? Phil Hartman had a strong connection to 1970s rock bands. And this is Jimi Hendrix. Ah, Phil. Hey, man. Oh, that's cool. He designed multiple band covers. Oh, I love that. Designed the cover for the compilation album History America's Greatest Hits. Held a drum set in place during a performance by Hendrix. Ah, nice hat, he said. Nice hat. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Good morning, Robin. Thanks for being here. We love you. Hey, Mark. Hey, Drake. Hey, Deuces. Oh, Phil Hartman. He just brought up Jimi Hendrix, and it says right here that he held a drum in place during a performance by Hendrix. That's awesome. His brother John Hartman was a manager for both Poco and America, which facilitated his design work for them. And this says American. His brother John was a manager for Poco and America. No. No way. Oh, thank you. Yes, yummy. Ooh. Tastes great. Sending you love and positivity. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Are you saying that your brother could have been, or you're just saying hi to your brother? I don't know, because this says American, and it says his brother managed a band called America. And he also designed head covers. I mean, head.
Mr. Edwards.
Worked as a roadie for his Psyche garage band, garage country rock band, Rockin'
You are
Foo.
haunting yourself.
Okay. What else? Thank you, Phil. What else? 6. Imagine if Phil Hartman could watch only one of the following TV shows. What would it be? Melrose Place.
Window.
Melrose Place. He was on a TV show called Talk Radio. So something dramatic about the show. Some drama on the show. Because Melrose Place is very dramatic. Mr. Brad Boy, gotcha. Hey, buddy. Welcome in. Make sure you're hitting that like button, everybody, so it helps the channel out if you like what we do here. Thank you so much. I was like, where is she? Hey, buddy. Thanks for being here. Imagine if Phil Hartman were a superlative. Which would he be? The goofiest. Aww. Yeah, I felt so goofy this morning. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, he has a great personality. Very funny. The cheesiest, easiest, goofiest. Okay. What else?
You can't run from me.
You can't run from me. Imagine if Phil Hartman would be an animal. What would he be? A chimpanzee. A goofy chimpanzee. Okay. Thanks. He's very sarcastic. He's very sarcastic. Going from live to live, trying to spread some positivity and leaving each person a compliment or a heartfelt message. You have a wonderful smile and a very welcoming energy. Hell yeah, sir or ma'am. Hell to the yeah. You spread your radical positivity and I support you. I send you it back. Thank you so much. I thank you for doing that. Absolutely. Thank you. That is fantastic. I appreciate that. That makes my heart melt. Imagine if John. Oh, I just said John. I didn't mean to say John. That's his brother, John Hartman. Something about his brother, man. Imagine if John could be one of the following sportsmen. Oh my god, and there's John right here. Babe Ruth trying to hit a home run. A home run? Babe Ruth trying to be the greatest of all time? Don't even tell me.
Whenever.
Oh my gosh. Don't even tell me. One. His brother could have had something to do with this. Tell me more. Let's get a little deeper. Let's get a little deeper. Female. I'm going to use the female cards. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. You too. You have a wonderful day as well. I appreciate what you're doing. What is a pashmina, a shawl? Cajun cooking comes from what part of the U.S.? The South, primarily Louisiana. True or false? MTV's Carson Daly ended his relationship with Jennifer Love Hewitt on the air. False. She broke up on the radio before she even told him. The radio. And he was on talk radio. And he just said conjure. And I have electric and wavy, and this says radio and conjure. We know that spirit is on a different bandwidth, a different frequency, a different radio station.
Chill down your back.
Stop it. Battle of the sexes. Interesting. Something about something he didn't know about. Something he wasn't aware of. Something that is non-physical. Air, on the air.
1950s.
Something he didn't see coming, or he would have never known about. Something non-physical. Something that broke him, or broke somebody. Female again. What nursing pioneer kept a small pet owl in her pocket? Florence Nightingale. Who was Sappho, an ancient female Greek poet from Lesbos? What is bling bling? Excessive or gaudy jewelry? Excessive or gaudy jewelry?
Yes, sir.
Who is someone that wore gaudy jewelry around Phil Hartman? Bryn. That Bryn did. Opening credit cards. Gaudy, noticeable, swinging earrings. Okay. Something about breaking up with him, before she even told him. Something about his brother, something about the radio or on the air, or it says electric and wavy and moving. Something about extra queen. I think that's Bryn. She's extra. There's two people here. There's a female and a male. Something about telling someone, this other person, that she was, or someone said they were gonna.
I can't find my way.
Someone said they were gonna break up, or that they broke up before they did, or something. Yes, gotcha. Lawrence Welk. That scar under your brow was when you passed out in a garage. Are you psychic? I'm at 1980 and 0.3. Love our gotcha when we understand. It's voodoo country. You make others happy. I like chewing. I like gum chewing. Yes, I know you do. Okay. Let's see. Tell me more. What do you want us to know? Who is this American? And who's this stinky, creepy, crusty job? Smug, itchy. Interesting. Let me roll the dice for how many? 2, okay. I'm going to do Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to do 2 pieces. I got orange and brown. Let's do brown first. Who's responsible for writing books titled Armadillos and Old Lace, God Bless John Wayne, and Elvis, Jesus, and Coca-Cola? Kinky Friedman. He's talking about his brother John. I think that's
Spanish donkey.
Spanish donkey? What the heck? Alliterative. What alliterative term denotes a phone survey that spreads negative political advertising? A push-pull. His wife Bryn may have been pillow talking with his brother. He may have been here, I don't know, someone may have been spreading negative advertising about their relationship. That might have been what annihilated their relationship. There might have been a lot of data that was shared between his brother John and Bryn. Oh, and I have, what city did Peter Ustinov describe as New York as run by the Swiss? Toronto. And he's Canadian. So something about Canada, something about pillow talking, something about trying to get information.
Where are my ashes?
Oh, because this says phone survey. It was like, I don't know who initiated it. It kind of feels like his brother did with Bryn, to try to get information on Phil, or try to, I don't know, trying to write a book of information or gather data or intel about Phil in their private life. Probing negative advertising, trying to find negative things about Phil. Something like that. Let's do another one. Orange. Is Bryn his wife because his wife shot
Red.
him, didn't she? Yeah, she shot him and then shot herself. So I just want to know like what led up to that. Orange. Oh, my eyes are getting blurry again. My eyes are getting blurry. Someone in this energy's got bad vision. Holy Divine Spirit, please separate that from me. Thank you. How many times had legendary football coach Bobby Bowden led Florida State to undefeated seasons through 2001? One.
Down.
How many times? One. And I have one, and Spirit just said down to look down. I'm telling you, his brother's got something to do with this. He may have stripped his brother of duties once he became part of the city committee, part of Hollywood, part of rubbing elbows with Gwyneth Paltrow and film actors. He may have had to become, his brother may have became painfully inflamed because he was, maybe he was jealous, I don't know. Because he is evil, says right here. He might have wanted to make his brother go to an insane asylum because he couldn't escape that his brother was looking like a superhero in Hollywood, and he wanted to be the one to rub elbows, but he was stuck at a construction job. He wanted to be legendary. He was afraid of his brother becoming legendary and being blown off like by a gust of wind. And he watched in horror. Really? All right. Let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow. Who did online investing columnist Donald Luskin dare to liken to Chauncey Gardner, the idiot savant Peter Sellers played in Being There? Alan Greenspan. What did online investing columnist Donald Luskin dare? There was some kind of dare or some kind of bet made or some kind of, says dare. Oh, and this says whose starring role in a network sitcom was heralded in the headline. NBC goes bam, Emerald Lagasse. Yeah, he may have got jealous when he got on this sitcom. This might be where it started because I have wavy and electric and radio, and he was on the show Talk Radio. So he may have found it to be like the straw that broke the camel's back. You get to be in movies, you get to be in shows. There's something about biowarfare, or the state of his mind being biowarfare, about these opportunities. He was tired of seeing him win all the time, being undefeated. So he may have went to Bryn, who loved him. There's something about him infiltrating Bryn to get information on his brother. It's almost like, feels like there has to be something bad about my brother because he's doing so, like a reason to hate his brother or be mad at his brother or to justify doing something to his brother because he really doesn't understand his emotions, and this is biowarfare. So again, I had moving, electric, and wavy over vengeance. I told you there's something that his brother's mad at about his come up, about his glow up. Something that He hates when his brother boasts about it, or he thinks his brother's boasting about his starring role on a sitcom on a network. It was a cyclone for him that reached winds of 74 miles per hour. It turned him into a dog. It was like he couldn't stand it. Modern biowarfare.
My name is Dorothy.
Germs. Dorothy, let me see. Dorothy, let me see. Phil Hartman and Dorothy. Okay, nothing came up. Okay, I'm just checking. Just checking. Okay. So, that was yellow. Okay, let's do green. I do remember tetherball. I was the best at tetherball. What fitting name did Jimmy Buffett pick for his internet radio station? I'm telling you. Radio again. Something about someone. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was someone on the radio station. Someone creepy, stinky. I don't know. Someone who had a secret or was part of a secret agency. What U.S. agency's secret echelon wiretapping network collects 3 million faxes, cell phone conversations,
I've missed
and
typing.
internet hits every minute? The National Security Agencies. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett, someone who's an alcoholic, someone who drinks too much, someone who was trying to shot block his abilities, someone who was contacting him every minute, doing something in secret. Someone who wanted to be on the movie charts. Grapes of wrath, and Spirit said vengeance. Okay, so there was someone who was purposely talking to Bryn that wanted to know more information about Phil. I don't know why though. Like, what was the information for? Can you tell me why this person wanted the information? Why were they spying on him? Sleep like a log. Don't make waves. They were trying to see if he was affected by something.
Prepare.
Don't make waves. But they didn't want to make it obvious. They didn't want to seem like they didn't want Phil to like think that they were odd or weird or to know something. But Phil slept like a log at night. And this says don't make waves, and I have wavy and electric. I'm telling you, this is some kind of psychic projection or something having to do with radio or electric. Oh, this word's
Forest.
this word's cut off, and it with this tile, it almost looks like conductive, which is electric. This is some kind of energy manipulation. Absolutely. Someone is projecting energy manipulation towards Phil and then trying to talk to Bryn to see how it's affecting him. But he sleeps like a log. Interesting. Lindsay Wagner is who you remind me of. I don't know. Who is that? Let me see. I'm sorry, Phil. Let me see. Lindsay Wagner? He says, your face is facing the camera, but your nose is pointing at the wall. I'm sorry, I got a crooked nose. I have accepted that about myself. Lindsay Wagner, I gotta say, I don't look nothing like Lindsay Wagner, honestly. I don't know how you would ever think that. We couldn't look more opposite. We couldn't look more opposite. Something about Lindsay Wagner. What about her? Let me see. She's still alive, so I'm not going to tap into her energy. But she's an Emmy-winning actress.
BC.
Okay, so what else? What is this person trying to do? Go whole hog. Horn in on. Horn in on? Horn and on? That's weird. Horn and on. No hate, just throw me off guard. You look beautiful with crooked nose. It's just adorable. Oh, thank you. I accept myself the way I am. I do have a crooked nose. And that's just part of my appeal. You know? Perfectly imperfect. I don't know what go whole hog is and horn and on. What is horn and on? Horn and on? To intrude, butt in, or join something like a conversation, activity, or to territory without invitation, consent, or welcome. It implies a rude or forceful, sometimes selfish insertion of oneself into a situation. Boom! Absolutely. There's somebody here. It could be his brother. If it's not his brother, it's someone he considered a brother that's on the radio show that he was on, talk radio, who's creepy, stinky, crusty, smug, who uses energy manipulation, who's American,
Open.
who went and was talking to Bryn or befriending Bryn to find out information about Phil. Because you got to understand, in 1998, there was no... I don't know why he sent voodoo to his brother. I don't know if it's his brother or if it's just somebody he considered a brother on the show. Or I don't know. I don't know yet. But he did say John a few times and America. So it could be his brother. I don't know. But whoever this is, they were jealous because he's going on shows and he's doing all this shit, and his brother wanted to, or somebody wanted that same type of,
You are worthy.
notoriety. So he went whole hog. He went all the way on trying to invade his energy and inserting himself in his marital problems and going behind his back and talking to his wife about their marital problems to try to find out information, because there was no social media back then. Nowadays there's so many people doing witchcraft and they don't have to talk to you at all. They can just go online and see what you post and stuff, and or hack your phone and use your camera, or there's a lot of different ways they can spy on you now. So they don't necessarily have to befriend your family members and go behind your back in that way. But whoever this person is, they're creepy, they're stinky, crusty, smug, itchy. They're not a good person. Okay. Tell me more about why they were doing this. Look daggers at fish or cut bait. Fish or cut bait. Look daggers at fish or cut bait. What's that mean? So they definitely inserted themselves without their consent. Donald. Spirit keeps saying Donald. I don't know why Spirit keeps bringing up Donald. And I had someone comment on I had someone
On video.
I had someone comment this, am I on video? Donald's wondering if he's on video. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That was a side note. So somebody's intruding, and I think somebody's intruding into their against their will. And so that is a law of free will, is you don't infringe on people's free will. And so there's something about infringing on his free will, possibly energetically. Okay? Look daggers at. Look daggers at. Look daggers at. Glare angrily, venomously. Okay? Fish or cut bait. Fish or cut bait. It is time to make decision and take action or get out of the way. Expected to be doing one or the other to be productive. The phrase evolved to mean stopping indecisiveness. It's often synonymous with phrases like put up or shut up, shit or get off the pot. An opportunity must be seized immediately or lost. So there's a prayer. So there's something someone may have done in anger that was impulsive. Pulling a fast one.
like the choice.
Slippery as an eel. Yeah, something they did to be sneaky. Something they did because they were jealous. They were jealous that Phil's getting all these jobs. You know, oh, maybe that's what the song is about. Let me go back to the song. I can never be the same. I don't know how to behave. You look at me like you know that I'll never let you go. I can never be the same. Won't even recall my name until you turn your head. And I keep saying to myself, don't think twice. Just, yeah, that's what this is. Pulling a fast one, fish or cut bait. I don't think twice.
Next.
Tell me, pretty, what you did before me. I want to hear your stories all night long. Weird. What? This person's a sadist. They enjoy hearing, there's like some kind of energy manipulation that they're participating in to send energy towards Phil. And then what they do is whatever happens between Phil and Bryn, it creates some kind of discord. And then this person goes to Bryn and says, oh, tell me about the fight you had last night, or tell me about this and that. You know, like it's this weird, like enjoying how they control the chaos in their relationship, or how they project some kind of weird negative energy towards their relationship, and then almost like a supply, using Bryn as a supply to hear the discord between them, and causing Phil like this heartache. It kind of feels like that. But then not knowing that it's this person that's conjuring this energy in their relationship. And it could be psychically, you know, psychic projections, evil eye, you know, it could be that. But I think they're actually doing something. They're doing something wrong. Yeah. But I don't think Phil or Bryn have any idea that they're causing this negativity in their relationship. Okay? So there's something about that. Tell me more. Where should we go? Let's do a vocabulary.
Trust the man.
Or I have so many options. I haven't done these in a while. Let's do these. yeah, there's something about, um, yeah, the lovers. There's something about,
Victim.
victim. There's something about Phil working. Something about Phil working and not paying enough attention to her, or something about Phil not being very attentive, or Bryn could have also been cheating on him.
My life was amazing.
There's something about Bryn cheating on him. Yeah. It's like whoever this person is that he's bringing up, it could be his brother, it could be someone he worked with on the set of talk radio. But this kind of looks like him. This kind of looks like him, but there's something that this person was doing to his relationship. Because it made him it's like almost like a jealous sibling, like, you have a great job, and you're popular, and you have a great relationship and a family, things like that. It's like this weird jealousy thing, like you're not going to have a good relationship too, kind of thing. Tell me about this lovers. Articulate. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I have a square head, so it's all good. What's going on this live? We're talking to Phil Hartman. I don't know why he sent voodoo to his brother. Able to speak clearly and expressively, she is extremely articulate when it comes to expressing her pro-labor views. As a result, unions are among her strongest supporters. Eloquent, expressive, fluent, lucid, silver-tongued, smooth-spoken. It's funny because they make in their story, the ones I watched, they make Bryn
Like the dark.
seem like some crazy, jealous, just someone who's really like volatile and emotional.
I am Draco.
I am Draco. But I don't know if that's the whole story. There's something about some kind of energy manipulation that would come in between Bryn and her husband. And it has to do with this person who eventually, or who's ended up in this energy. I could be out on the streets right now, or might not even have any opportunities at this point because of what they did. Judicious. it seems like Bryn may have at one time been, it might have been a really good relationship. And there's something about, Bryn putting in like this effort, but some kind of pull away from each other. And she might have internalized it, not really understanding why Phil kept walking away from her or choosing work over her, but it has something to do with this person that could potentially be, under judgment, because it says judicious, showing judgment. A wise and distinguished judge was well known for having a judicious temperament. So they could be under judgment, or they could have went through judgment, and this is their outcome for doing this to them. Okay? So there's something about that. Phil wants us to know that, at one time they had a very balanced relationship, and he really adored her, and she was very articulate and able to express herself eloquently. But some silver-tongued person kept using her as a spy almost, and kept projecting negative energy to have Phil walk away from the relationship, to choose work over the relationship, so that because this person doesn't want Phil to have a good relationship and a good career and all of these opportunities. There's something, because they're smug and they're crusty and they're creepy. Okay? But there's something about homogeneous, of a similar kind. The class was fairly homogeneous since almost all of the students were journalism majors. Consistent, standardized, uniform, unvarying. Yes. So there's something. So there's something within Bryn's energy that matches this person, this brother, and that's what makes her susceptible. That's what makes her susceptible to the change in her mood, to the change in her emotions. She's starting to mirror, because of her matching of energy, about Phil's career and stuff. She does have a chip on her shoulder about where he's going and where she's going. There is something about that. She could possibly want to be part of his work stuff, part of his, she wants to experience, the whole lifestyle of being someone in Hollywood.
Please go left.
But just like the Alice Cooper thing, Hollywood vampires, there's someone in his energy that's a vampire that is jealous. They're jealous, and they're using Bryn as a way to manipulate Phil's relationship and Bryn. But Bryn is a match to this energy because she does have a chip on his shoulder about his success. Okay? So that's the entry point for the energy manipulation. Dilatory. Intended to delay. I told you. The congressman used dilatory measures to delay the passage of the bill. Dragging, flagging, laggard, lagging, slow-footed, slow-going, slow-paced. Yeah, because this person is maniacal. They're diabolical. They're smug. They're like, well, then I'll affect his relationship. Since he's getting all these jobs and everyone loves him, I'm going to affect his relationship, and that should affect the rest of his stuff. If they're unhappy in their relationship, maybe it'll trickle down and affect him in other ways. Some kind of invisible force. Wavy, electric. Okay? Salt. Someone who's salty. So there were, it was creating some kind of, energetic distortion between him and Bryn that wasn't always there. Okay? But see, if you don't know anything about psychic projections or energy manipulation or just diabolical people, if you have any
I
type
believe
of
you.
if you have any type of chip on your shoulder that matches that person, it's going to be like a conduit of energy where it goes back and forth. You know, you're going to be, this person is hanging out with Bryn and they're taking them to the side and having a friendship with them that's not known to Phil. Okay, Phil doesn't know that they're going behind his back and having this relationship where Bryn is using this person and this person's using Bryn. Okay, this person's using Bryn to spy on Phil, and Bryn's using this
My name is
person
Iris.
to complain about Phil, but she doesn't realize that that's the source of her disconnection between Phil. Okay. So tell me more. What was this delay intended to do? They wanted to delay his blessings. They wanted to stifle him to, because when the time he died, he was in his prime for his career. Thought you were gonna call American forefathers. Hey, Angry Honky. Phil Hartman was hilarious. Well, I did try to do George Washington last weekend,
Sleep won't save you.
but it was just so I don't know if this is a word, but I want to say it, repetitive. It was repelling me, so I didn't do it. But I do want to do it. I was gonna do George Washington, but maybe I have done George Washington, so I was thinking maybe I'll do a different one, maybe Benjamin Franklin or something. Yeah, look at this. I'm telling you, this person
I
is,
have no regrets.
this person's like obsessed with spying on them, with wanting to see them. I'm overcome with emotion. This reminds me of Phil. I'm overcome with emotion. I just don't think that Phil, what I'm getting is, Phil, he's immersing himself in his job and putting energy into his job because his home life is kind of falling apart. And so he's kind of taking all of those emotions and putting it into his work. And that's why at the time he died, it's like he kept getting more jobs and he kept, some weird like exchange of energy where instead of focusing on how the relationship was falling apart, not really knowing what to do with that, he was putting his focus into his emotions into his work. And that's why he kept getting jobs and getting the blowing up in that way. And that's why this person was
You were imaginative.
so obsessed with getting Phil to react in some way. There's some kind of reactive abuse going on here. Oh, I told you. Warning. To avoid injury, don't tell me how to do my job. Yeah, this is something about his workplace. This is someone on this talk show radio that is doing something because they're smug about their opportunities. Someone who's hiding behind who's hiding. Spirit said trapped here, and I have under judgment. Whoever this person is could be living on the streets now. They could be, they could have done this to a lot of people to try to, because they don't know how to harvest their own energy. They don't know how to water their garden. They don't know how to nourish themselves or put into themselves. And so they see other people who do it so easily and they become very jealous. I'm sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud? Yeah. They don't know how to handle other people who get opportunities because they don't know how to water their garden. So what did they do? Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. Albus Dumbledore. Magic. Albus Dumbledore was a wizard. They're doing magic. Thought you were gonna call the American... Oh, I already read that. Yeah. A dark telephone. Speaking negativity into existence. Manipulation. Yeah. Manipulating Bryn. Poisoning Bryn's mind with jealousy. Oh, he should... Oh, and this is a comment. Screonk. Yeah, in Bryn's ear saying, oh, you're gonna let him do that? Oh, don't you know they're cheating on you every time they go to work? Oh, don't you know that, this and that? Just putting poison into her mind. Honestly, just saying the darkest, most horriblest things about Phil to get Bryn to give him a hard time at home. Because he's somebody who's not overly emotional. He doesn't get emotionally reactive. So there's the reaction that they're trying to elicit doesn't happen with Phil. And that makes him even more upset. Dream big. Well, what else can I do? Oh, I'll show you. You want to treat me like I'm nothing? You don't want to go toe to toe? Okay. Just very immature. Very immature, very childish. Okay? Very childish energy. Someone who drinks a lot. Someone who... MILF. Man, I love frogs. Someone who... I don't know. Something with animals. Something about animals. Be easy to love, hard to break, and impossible to forget. J.M. Strom. Storm. I said Strom. I meant to say Storm. Yeah, this person was definitely had a death wish. There's something that they weren't seeing. They thought it was going to be... There's something about magic here. How can I find that out? Because of Albus Dumbledore. Let me see. Let's do cards for humanity.
Confidence.
Okay. Give me a black one. Give me a black one. I spent my whole life working toward an authentic 250-year-old George Washington turd. We just said George Washington. I spent my whole life working towards an authentic 250-year-old George Washington turd, only to have it ruined by hijacking the school bus and driving it straight to Six Flags. Yeah, so some kind of ancient magic, something that's been around since the forefathers, something that was distorted or turned into something else, something that was hijacked, something that they spent money on that ended up ruining their own life, something that they've done to at least 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 people. This is a person that he worked with, or his brother, I don't know. Somebody that used magic against him. No, bitch, I'm dead and you can't do shit about it. Okay, give me a black one. Tell me more. Aha! It was Professor Plum in the library with...
Beside.
Getting picked last. A pick me. Somebody who is never chosen first. Someone who's not a first draft pick.
Eric.
Eric. I am very smart. I am currently reading a 500-page book about getting my butt stuck in a black hole. Yeah, someone who's very dark. Someone who can't ever pull themselves out of any situation. They're always getting themselves in trouble. This person's known for fucking up. Okay? This person's known for fucking up. This person's known for messing with people. The people consider them creepy and stinky and smug and crusty. Timmy plays the drums so he doesn't have to think about intensely staring into a horse's butt. Oh. I have butt twice, black hole. Something about animals.
From you.
I'm telling you, you guys, you know, when it comes to Hollywood, just like Alice Cooper said, Hollywood vampires, they're all part of the fertility cult. And it goes back to ancient times, to George Washington times, even further back than that. This is a group of this is an energy that has infiltrated our society in many ways throughout history. Going forward, it's not going to anymore, but everyone in Hollywood has probably witnessed or been involved with or has done something that is creepy, stinky, and wavy, okay? And we just have to accept that. We have to accept that. I don't know if Phil did. Let me see. Phil, did you? I have civilian casualties right here. There may be... poop, 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 poop.
Cupboard.
Oh, cupboard. Cupboard. Phil, were you involved in magic? Did you participate in any fertility rituals? Did you participate in any fertility rituals?
Ryan.
Who has to use the plunger more than I have over poop? Definitely peaked in high school.
Josiah.
Is just an utter bastard. A thief planning to rob your home tonight. Disneyland. If they die, you'll have to speak at their funeral in front of at least 100 people. Yeah, I think he did, you guys. If killed, will return more powerful than you could ever imagine. Who has to use the plunger more?
Joan.
He may have been bisexual. Is on their way to steal a nerd's lunch money. Oh, Phil. The player on each side must show how they would look bungee jumping. You choose the winner. Yeah, he definitely involved himself. is actually just one of the 329 identical clones. If they die, you'll have a mess to clean up. Yeah, he definitely
My body was taken.
did it. Yeah, he definitely did something with this fertility cult to be able to get his rewards. Is actually just one of the identical clones. So he's admitting that. Tell me more about your involvement. What substance weighs more in its liquid form than in its solid form? Water. He's emotional. Something about water. A black dog stands in front of the middle. Wait, why did I read that funny? A black dog stands in the middle of an intersection in a town painted black. None of the streetlights are working due to a power failure caused by a local storm. And I have storm over here.
Destination.
Destination. Be easy to love, hard to break, and impossible to forget. Ugh. A car with 2 broken headlights drives towards the dog, but turns in time to avoid hitting him. How could the driver have seen the dog in time? Luckily for the dog, it was daylight. Twin. This is a twin dynamic. One is a dark twin and one is the light twin. Okay, I see what you're saying. This might be bigger than this situation because Phil might have not wanted to be part of something anymore. There may have been something that was broken within him and he was trying to avoid hitting something. He may have tried to separate himself from this dynamic that he was initially a part of. He may have been a part of something that has to do with the butt and poop and and a fertility ritual. Okay, he did do a fertility ritual. He was gaining gains, but he was that's disgust. The thing about the fertility ritual or magic is that you guys have to understand is that it's an exchange, it's a sacrifice for one thing for another.
Jeffrey.
So once you decide to do the fertility ritual, it takes from your own energy, and that's why at first it works. But that's why you have to keep doing it, and that's why it becomes more depraved and more like darker, and you start having to like get your energy source from these bursts of trauma, the things that the fertility ritual ends up being basically like a trauma ritual. And the more you do it, the more it takes from your own energy field, and you can't produce your own energy. And it's masqueraded and disguised as like an orgy or a threesome or doing just something, really different with, having fun, sexually. And in Hollywood, they have these parties and it's like this understanding of, this is the inner circle and you get to do these really depraved things with each other and then you receive abundance. But it's because these people, they don't understand energy and they all have chips on their shoulders and need validation, and that's what makes them susceptible. So Phil Hartman is saying, yeah, I did it, but then there was a point in time where He didn't want to do it anymore. And the minute somebody is in the energy of not wanting to participate or kindly declining, but they've already know like what goes on, you can't exist anymore, because then you become a liability. And there's no way that you're going to exist and they're going to risk you telling what they do. And then also it's an energy exchange. So the minute you decide to do the fertility ritual, well, now you just said to God or the universe or whatever that you're separated from God and you have to attain power in this way. And it takes away, you're sacrificing loving, fulfilling relationships for monetary, material wealth. That's the exchange. So you can't have abundance and material wealth the way that the fertility ritual required you to receive this wealth, because it wasn't from within, from a natural source. It was from an external source of lack. And
I
so
want the space you ignore.
and so that has to take away not only from your own energy, but also from you having fulfilling, loving relationships. And once you make that choice, you can't have both. You can't do depraved sexual acts and do weird things that aren't divine and have loving, fulfilling relationships. You can't do both. And so the minute you decide to do the fertility ritual, even just once, well, then now that's going to affect any and all relationships you have, because that were made in a different energy. And it starts affecting the people in your life. So he's getting energy manipulation sent at him, and the people around him to do kind of like a domino effect. And we know that this is real because it's energy manipulation. It's considered, Spirit calls it an energy weapon. Magic is an energy weapon. And it's a test that has been created by God throughout history of Earth it's the apple, it's the temptation. Do you want things easy or do you want to work hard for them? It's your choice. It's a choice. And so there was a power failure caused because it caused a storm that he wanted to drive towards. He wanted to get away from that. It's almost like,
Light.
thank you, Spirit. It's this weird, because the cult doesn't tell you exactly how it works. They just say, join us for this party and you'll have fun and you'll get jobs and you'll be in the inner circle. And so that's what you think it is, but they don't tell you about the energy harvesting aspect of it. And they might not even be fully aware of it. I don't know. But it's like some Hollywood people who have crossed over, they do those things because they think it's fun. And then they get jobs and they're like, oh, this is great. I'm in the inner circle. And then they feel like, okay, well, I'm already in. I don't have to do that stuff anymore. It's not, I tried it a few times. It's not really for me. It's not like what I want to do. So I'm just going to continue getting jobs and being in the industry without having to do that. But what they don't know is that once you decide to do it, you're energetically bound to them and you can't stop doing it if you want
It's
to
my happy
continue
place.
to be in Hollywood. Okay? That's why nature's finding a way to push that energy out, because clearly those humans cannot be responsible enough to create movies, music, and entertainment without pulling people into this cult. They're gatekeepers. There's not one person in the industry from today and back in the old mind that hasn't been part of this fertility cult. And I need you to understand how big it is. It's very big. This is the beast that we're tackling here. And so it's hard to forget the things you do participate in, and once you decide that you don't want to do it anymore, that's an energetic signature that they can't have. And so the energy manipulation touches people who match that energy in his circle that can cause a domino effect. They're like, well, if he can just, if there's people in his environment that can just take themselves out, it can just take care of themselves, then we don't have to, send in an operative to, make it look like. Okay, so I know that's a lot of like chords that I'm combining, but there is one particular person that was like deep, and I'm talking about it. This,
Many lives were lost.
yes, this person has used. They were really
I will flash the lights.
they were really into the debauchery, for sure, this person. And there may have been some kind of bisexual connection to these two people. They may have participated in a sexual act at one of these parties or get-togethers, and that may have been like, why I'm doing the same things that he's doing at these parties, but he's the one getting more jobs than me, because it's like certain energies that are just naturally like a mess. These the cult wants people of influence who are going to be reliable, that have a future timeline of not just like completely breaking down and having like a mental breakdown, but there's someone in this energy who is already exhibiting mental fatigue from doing all the rituals. Okay, they were already, their timeline was not as clear as Phil's per se. And so they're not going to give this person influence when they're outwardly a mess all the time. They're just outwardly a mess all the time, always on something, always drinking, always, always smug, always crusty, always promiscuous. They're just a mess. So the powers, the cabal doesn't want to give that person influence, because as soon as they get influence, they just mess up, and it's just a mess. They have to clean up. Okay. Do you remember the point when you flip her out? I don't know what that means. Okay. So he didn't want to paint the town black anymore. He wanted to stand in the lights, the street lights, but he was recognizing a power failure at a local storm. So where the current job he had at the time, which was the radio station, he was starting to notice that when he didn't participate in these things, that he was having storms in other ways. His relationship was going out. His relationship was starting to fizzle out, but his relationship was not always like this. So it's because of the energy manipulation. It was starting to affect his relationships. Which number is next in this series? 10, 4, 3, 11, 15, 14. 10, 4, 3, 11,
Paris.
15, 14. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me with that. Can I have a different? I gotta end it soon. Might not know about it firsthand, but she knows they receive the reports. Tulsi Gabbard, what are you wearing underneath your sweater? Do you remember the point when you flipped out? I understand. So what do you want us to know about? What are some last things you want us to know about this? Let me look in a book. We'll look in our philosophy book. Phil, what is the overall message that you want to convey to us? David Hume, Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion. Part 2. I must own that nothing can more surprise me than the light in which you have all along put this argument. I must own that nothing can surprise me more than the light in which you have all along put this argument. By the whole tenure of your discourse, one would imagine that you were maintaining the being of a God against the cavils of atheists. Exposed. Atheists and infidels, and were necessitated to become a champion for that fundamental principle of all religion. Yeah, he had to go. Thank you, Spirit. He had to go because the minute he decided, because the thing is, you guys, is you can do depraved things and you can F people over, but you can also forgive yourself for that and you can try to do better. And that's the power of free will. That is why God gave us choice. You can make mistakes and do things that you never thought you would do. And then you can also forgive yourself for that and ask for forgiveness and then try to move on in a different energy. But that's the thing, is that that's what he's saying, is he did something that he didn't understand and that was kind of creepy, and then he wanted to get out of it. And that's why he had to go, because on his timeline, if he wasn't part of there's always multiple timelines that you could choose. If you are on one timeline and you make a different choice to do better, even though you're on a timeline where you effed up on, you can jump a timeline. We talk about this all the time. Every positive choice you decide to choose, jump. Every person you decide that doesn't serve your highest good, you choose to cut off, jump. You're constantly jumping different timelines. They're like little threads of opportunities or possible outcomes. And this cult, they have like dark psychics and stuff that will read your timeline. So if someone decides to disconnect from the cult and do things their own way, they'll read their timeline, and then if they see that this person is going to come into light and the path that the timeline they jumped on, they decide to become a person of positive influence, then they got to go. But if they want to try to minimize their karma as much as possible, if they don't have to get their hands dirty or get rid of somebody and not add to their karmic debt, that's what they want to try to do. The way that they do that is the minute you decide to be part of the fertility ritual, you're bound to them. And that's their permission slip to do whatever they want to you. It's a unsaid, non-physical, contractual agreement. So, but you don't know that, because we don't know the spiritual laws. And so the minute you decide to not be a part of the cult is the minute you break the contract. They look at your timeline. If you're somebody that wants to be in the entertainment industry, but you don't want to talk about what happened, they'll let you live, but your quality of life is going to be horrible. You're going to turn into an addict. You're not going to have any fulfilling relationships. You're going to feel empty all the time. You're going to need bursts of energy where you have to like harvest energy through sex or, being very promiscuous or drugs or whatever. Or hurting people. It's, that's the exchange you make. Okay. But if you're somebody who's going to go forward and you're going to be a positive influence, then you got to go. Okay. So that was Phil Hartman. He did the thing. He wanted to separate. And so energy manipulation was sent to him to affect the people in his environment to take him out. Okay. That's like the first thing they try. If Phil were to overcome that and separate himself from the people and not give them a chance of the people that's being affected by the energy manipulation in his environment, then they have to go to the next thing and the next thing, and until that person's gone. Okay, so he was going to be a champion of light against the infidels. Okay. Um,
Keep the camera on.
It says, "But this I hope is not by any means a question among us. No man at least of common sense, I am persuaded, ever entertained a serious doubt with regard to a truth so certain and self-evident. The question is not concerning the being, but the nature of God." Yeah. It's affirmed in his human understanding that altogether it was incomprehensible and unknown, the essence of the supreme mind.
You are valued.
He didn't, in his living life, he didn't understand what he gave himself to, but now crossed over,
This place.
he understands that there's not just physical laws, there's the laws of nature, the laws of existence, and the laws of God, spiritual law. And it was this very particular law which regards so divine or being mysterious to men that make them finite and weak and blind creatures. And we ought to humble ourselves in his august presence and conscious of our frailties, adore in silence his infinite perfections, which eye hath not seen, ear hath not heard,
Box.
neither hath it entered into the heart of man to conceive. They are covered in a deep cloud from human curiosity. Yeah, it is profaneness to attempt penetrating through these sacred obscurities. And next to the impiety of denying his existence is the temerity of prying into his nature and essence, decrees and attributes. But lest you should think that my piety has here got the better of my philosophy, I shall support my opinion if it needs any support. By a very great authority, I might cite all the divines, almost from the foundation of Christianity. He's saying that now he sees that the curiosity of humans led him to express spirit in order to signify that he is not matter. He is a being infinitely perfect, of this we cannot doubt, but in the same manner as we ought not to imagine, even supposing him corporeal, that he is clothed with a human body, as the anthropomorphites asserted, under color that the figure was the most perfect of any. So neither ought we to imagine that the Spirit of God as human idea, or bears any resemblance to our spirit, under color that we know nothing more perfect than a human mind. Yeah, that's so funny. He's saying that he sees now that, he was searching for...
We don't mean harm.
This cult was made because of curiosity, okay? Curiosity of what is beyond. But unfortunately, with the human mind, we're cut off from the spiritual laws and the spirituality of it all. And so the choice was given to humans to choose to indulge in your curiosities, and then the thing is you can be curious, but then at what point do you understand, what you're doing? Like, you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, trying to control the outcome, and for so many years in so many ways, and you keep drawing all these people in to do this thing that nobody really is understanding the full implications or consequences of doing it, because they all have these human characteristics that are cut off or separated from God. And so when you cut yourself off from your spiritual aspect of yourself, and you indulge in your human curiosity without, combining the two, you just keep on thinking that you can play God in this world because there's no consequences, or you don't understand how energy works. That's why this whole thing is unfolding right now, because the energies are shifting, and he's recognizing that we're spirit the whole time. We're spiritual the whole time. And this cult, it's like we always say, like, we don't understand why this cult has this weird disconnect where they'll do all these rituals and they'll talk to these other entities, but they don't want to talk to God. Like, why do you believe in Baal and all these dark energies, but you don't believe in God? It's because those other energies let them do dark things and not have any repercussions, or so they think. But the repercussions they get aren't instant, and they aren't what you think. How do I explain this? It's like, Spirit, please help me to clarify. So these people believe in gods and deities. They're basically like lower astral entities that have cosmic knowledge, and they understand, they can read your thoughts, they can read your fears, they can make you think, they can say things to stroke your ego that make you want to work with them, okay? And they'll give you, and you'll get things because they trick you into releasing your own energy to receive the abundance. And you do it so much that you run out of energy, and that's why you have to energy harvest. That's what makes you become a vampire. Okay? But the thing is these people all have one thing in common, and it is that they have a closed down heart chakra. They have a wound. They have many wounds. Bad energy. And so for them, it's subconsciously what's happening is it's easier to allow themselves to do the depraved thing that gets them the thing they want physically, because they don't want to look at the thing that hurts them the most. And so it's easier for them to accept the darkness because it allows them to do dark things instead of doing, believing in God, which makes you look at yourself and the things you've done and the things you've participated in. It almost becomes like so embarrassing for them to even like look at what they've done that it's easier to just continue doing it. And I think that's a question that the collective has been like starting to ask as a whole, like, how did we get here? Why are we doing this? Why did it become so worldwide? Why is it stretched into so many things? Like, how did we allow this to happen? And it's not that we allowed it, it's that it was kept secret from us. But for them, for these people, if you're wondering, why do they keep doing it? It's because their curiosity eventually led them to having to do it all the time, because they have no vital force. If they don't do it, then they essentially don't have anything. And so Phil is pointing out to us that he was a victim of this energy because his curiosity led him to try something he never tried before, but then he decided he wanted to stop doing it. And if you decide you want to stop doing it, then you can't be part of it anymore. You have to be restricted, because they want to have authority. They want to produce thousands of people that will produce the same ridiculous sentiments as them, because they have their own doctrine that they that they uphold because they don't want to admit to themselves how they've treated their subjects. They can't ever question the nature of their deity because they don't want to reveal the truth, because that would cause a whole breakdown of their own universe, and they will have to be faced with their own imperfections. And so it's easier, they don't want to be punished. They don't want the punishment that's going to come with their curiosity for their unquestionable, self-evident depravity. And so they've inflicted a lot of pain onto others and ridiculed others out of contempt because they were scared to look at their own imperfections. That's why Hollywood gives us this reflection of perfection, and why it can't be around anymore,
Confidence.
because it's just not true. You can't look up to these people who do these things. That's why AI is coming out with ways to make our own music, and why we can make our own movies now with AI that look just like the actors. These people are not divine, and this cult brings in people to do these things, and that's why it's so widespread, because there's so many people out in the collective that don't understand emotions, that don't understand energy, that don't understand spirituality, and they're separated from the spiritual knowledge that's needed in order to balance the things that make them susceptible to energy manipulation. And they're making spiritual agreements by these fertility rituals that they're bound to, that when they pass over, that doesn't allow them to cross over. You have to reconcile the things you did in this lifetime in order to go home. And so it's like this weird loop, just this loop. Okay. And so he's recognizing the design of the earth realm amongst honorable men, and the conceptions that we express. And he wants us to beware that,
My name is Lizzie.
and he wants us to beware that our ideas correspond to our perfections. Our attributes have resemblance to the qualities among men. That because of our limitations, we're unable to comprehend the infinite superior of our temples. Yeah, that we're living embodiments of God. We're small parts of God having human experiences for God to experience themselves, and we're supreme beings having human experiences. And you can't affirm one identity and not accept another part of the identity. Because then if you don't understand the duality of the darkness and the light, and you just identify with just the darkness, you separate yourself from ever experiencing light. Okay? Read the book of James in the Bible. That will get your attention about reality. We need to get over our conceptions about
Blacksmith.
adoration. When we need adoration, we open ourselves up to people who sit in this energy that need you to have a chip on your shoulder. This is what makes you susceptible to being coerced or being curious about these atheists and infidels, Spirit's calling them, because they need you to be divided in infinite numbers, so that way you're easier to submit to, or so you submit to them. when you have all your senses and faculties and you can trace and explain and you can ask spirit, well, is this true? Is this not true? And you can get accuracy, you become someone who can't be targeted. Okay, you become someone who can be curious and adapt and be able to be flexible. You can ask your spirit team, is this for me? You know, when you're not separated. But when you are when you're spirit said, Bob, when you're somebody who needs to have, you know, validation and you need everyone to know you're famous and you just have that chip on your shoulder, that's what all these people have in common. They all have that same chip on their shoulder. And then they use that against you to say, well, if you do this, you'll become famous. You'll get everything you want. It's the temptation. It's the low-hanging fruit. So he's saying to us that if he had just walked away, if you walk away from everything that you gained in that energy, you will be protected. Okay? You will be protected. But you have to leave it all behind. People, places, things. You have to not be afraid to lose everything that you gained in that energy. This keeps coming up. So I don't know if there's people in the entertainment industry that watch us that want to know how they can walk away without, you know, losing their life. You have to just prepare yourself to, I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, I can only speak from my own. My own experience and for my journey, what I was advised to do. And it's always guidance. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I agree. Love the book of James. No, I'm not reading from the Bible. I'm reading from the classic Western philosophy. David Hume. He's a philosopher. We have to open our eyes and contemplate the world as it really is. And would it be impossible for us to assign a cause to any of these events? Yes, there is a cause for all these events that are happening right now. We need to start understanding the infinite variety and representations of God. God made everything. Everything. Good, bad, and the ugly. God made everything. God is omnipotent. God is an energy, a consciousness that created all of these things over time for them to experience multiple different things, to understand itself. And for people in the entertainment industry to focus so directly on one aspect of darkness and not even consider the possibility of light is a very limiting experience, and that's coming to the forefront now because we're coming into new earth energies and it's exposing everything that's in the dark, including all of these dark things that are clearly running our earth right now. And so we need to open our eyes and see reality as it truly is and not the way that they've been telling us. And Phil Hartman is somebody that was a direct target because he recognized the divine nature of his essence and that he has a choice, and he chose that he wanted to separate. But the only thing is he didn't understand that everything that he gained in that energy, he wasn't willing to leave behind. And so that made him a direct energy match for the manipulation. So if you don't want to be targeted by these people with intrusive thoughts and depression, anxiety, and negativity, and you want to inherit your divine inheritance, you have to do things that match divine energy. You can't keep things, people, and places and gain things in an energy that where you hurt people, lied to people, stole from people. It's just two different energies. So he wasn't willing. I don't know if he wasn't willing or he just didn't know. There's an ignorance to it, and then, there's a choosing, like, of a fear of losing everything. You have to know that the rumors are true. You have to know that everything's going to be all right. And if you choose the right path, that you will be guided, you will be protected. But if you're too afraid of the consequences of your actions, and you don't make a choice of what side you're going to be on, then you're going to receive the energy in which you sit in. Does that make sense? Oh, this energy felt a little confusing. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I gotta go, you guys. Tomorrow we're gonna do a reading as well. So if you like what we do here, and you like the way we read, and you like the information we bring forward, please join us tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I can't tell you what we're gonna do or what we're gonna do, because it gets messed up if I do that, but we do have something cooking. Okay, so we love you so much. Oh, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Phil. Bye.